Hello everyone, my name is Brax, and it has recently come to my attention that I have reached 100 subscribers. At the time of me filming this, I'm at 117, which is frankly sort of baffling to me. I know this seems like a very small number, but to me this means everything. It means more than 100 people like me enough to want to stay up to date with what I do. My opinions on things. If you give a shit about my opinions, you need to get checked out. It's also the new year. This is going to be my first video of the new year, despite being more than 3 weeks in. Sorry about the absence. But I'm hoping this will help ring in the new year and celebrate what I believe is an amazing milestone. But let's get into it. I was born in 2004. And like I said, this is going to be best and worst video game of every year of my life. I'm as old as Tommy in it, which I think is funny. Alright, best game of 2004 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's a no-brainer, really. This game is not only very fun, very well written, but it also helped cement Grand Theft Auto as the bad boy of the gaming industry. It is one of the most infamous games ever released, due to the violence, obviously, and the infamous hot coffee mod, which is a mini game where you have sex with a woman. It's honestly crazy that was ever an idea. Well, games nowadays are getting pretty crazy with sexual stuff, so I guess it's not that crazy. Some notable mentions. Halo 2 came out this year. Knights of the Old Republic 2 came out. Pokemon Emerald and Silent Hill 4 The Room. The Room is the one with... wait, is The Room the one where you look through the keyhole? I can't remember, but I do know that I like it. Halo 2, also great. Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Star Wars game, also great. Made by the same people who made Fallout New Vegas. And Pokemon Emerald, the last Pokemon game on the Game Boy Advanced. The worst, however, is Doom 3. Not because it's like awful or anything. A lot of these games that I marked down the worst aren't atrocious. They're just very disappointing for that year. This one especially. It became more of a horror game than a loot and shoot game, which horror is obviously an aspect, but the loot and shoot is really what makes the mixture of the looting and shooting and the horror is what makes Doom Doom. Doom Eternal does this perfectly. So notable mentions is Bad Boys Miami Takedown. Bad Boys Miami Takedown being a tie-in to the movie Bad Boys. You'll see a few movie or TV show tie-ins on this. Alright, 2005. Moving on, the best Resident Evil 4. It's my favorite Resident Evil game. It's scary, it's fun, it's got an interesting story. Leon the Sex Kennedy, fucking just a badass. Ada Wong is in it, which like she's one of my video game crushes as a kid. Notable mentions, God of War came out this year. The first God of War ain't that great, but it is worthy of being mentioned because it gave us the later games. Yakuza came out, Destroy All Humans came out, Club Penguin, one of the greatest MMOs of all time, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original one, not the new one, not that piece of shit. The worst is Devil May Cry 3. I get that people love this because it's the introduction of Virgil. It's just not fun to me. I just don't like it. Notable mentions are The Warriors and Shadow the Hedgehog, which Shadow the Hedgehog is the antithesis, I think that the word is, of the type of game I like the least, which is games that are overly edgy. 2006. We got the best game, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion is honestly my favorite Elder Scrolls game. I like it more than Skyrim, which people think I'm weird for, but screw you, I like it. Notable mentions, the new Super Mario Bros. Came out on the DS. I played the shit out of that game. The original Saints Row, not the reboot. Saints Row is acted as a parody of the Grand Theft Auto games, and it is so fucking funny. Dead Rising, one of my favorite zombies games, and Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, I just think it's purty. I think it looks nice. The worst is Sonic 06. I couldn't even find a regular picture to use. I had to use one of the PlayStation 3 cover. Sonic 06 is the worst Sonic the Hedgehog game, and it's not even close. The lady who played Meg Griffin in the first season of Family Guy's in it, though, so that's neat. Notable mentions are another Sonic game, Sonic Riders, Bomberman Act Zero, and Superman Returns DS. Superman Returns DS being incredibly infamous for being probably the worst video game movie tie-in. 2007, we got the iPhone and Transformers this year. You don't need anything more than that. Mass Effect. Oh my god. Mass Effect. It's amazing. It gave us one of the most beautiful worlds. I guess not worlds, but no, yeah, worlds. It gave us beautiful worlds, multiple worlds, an amazing exploration system, an amazing combat system, an amazing roleplay system, characters that I can't help but love. It's unbelievable. Notable mentions, we got a few of them. BioShock, which is another one that I love the aesthetic of. Portal, which I like puzzle games, and GLaDOS is one of my favorite villains. Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I love Uncharted. I love it more than Tomb Raider. I love Nathan Drake more than I love Indiana Jones. That might get me killed, but I don't care. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The Call of Duty that really cemented Call of Duty as a titan in the genre. Super Mario Galaxy, one of my favorite Wii games, and the original Assassin's Creed. Well, again, one of those games that it's like, it's not super good, but, you know, it's worthy of being mentioned because it gave us one of the greatest franchises in gaming. The worst is Made Man, Confessions of the Family Blood. It's just a fucking Mafia ripoff. And it's not even a good one. It's boring. It's lame. Bad controls. Bad acting. I can't really remember the acting, but let's move on. 2008, I turned 4 years old, and we got Barack Hussein Obama, the first ever Kenyan American president. That's a joke. Best is Grand Theft Auto 4. This is another thing. Gameplay, story, characters. It's amazing. Comedy is a huge thing for me. If you're funny, I will love you. And this game is funny. There's the one news segment where like the guy's talking about just bashing a cross-dresser's head into the floor in a bar and then fighting a bunch of other guys and just being overly graphic about it. Fucking hilarious. Notable mentions. Devil May Cry 4, huge upgrade from Devil May Cry 3. Pokemon Platinum, my favorite or second favorite Pokemon game. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, I remember kicking my cousin's ass in this game. Yes, he's 8 years younger than me, but I don't give a shit. Battlefield Bad Company, again, it's another one of those things where comedy is a huge deal for me. And it has fun gameplay, and it's just very funny. And Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I love Star Wars. I love Starkiller. I really wish the extended universe was canon and not the shitty sequels. The worst is Jackass the game. It's another one of those things where like it's a tie-in, so I can't really judge it too hard. I love Jackass, but the game just wasn't good. Moving on, 2009, Michael Jackson passed away this year. We got Watchmen. And the swine flu. Oh my gosh. But best game, Assassin's Creed 2. It's probably going to get repetitive, but story, characters, gameplay, all amazing. Ezio is in my probably top 5 favorite video game characters of all time. And because of this and the 2 sequels that he's in. Notable mentions are Modern Warfare 2, infamous for it's another one of those games that's infamous among like parents for having the terrorism mission in the airport. Multiplayer is iconic. Noob tubes. I think that's where like this is where Call of Duty started being like super MLG edits. If you understand what I mean by that. Resident Evil 5, not as good as 4, but still pretty good. It had some controversy too, because it took place in Africa and featured black zombies. That's one of the stupidest controversies I've ever seen. Alright, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like, if you don't really know Pokemon, they're the same things, it's slightly different. And they're good, really good. Amazing aesthetic, amazing music. I like it. It's from my childhood. And Wii Sports Resort. I don't even need to fucking say it. Music, gameplay, not really any characters, because you're the character, but amazing. The worst is Bionic Commando. Now we're getting into the areas of like, man, I really don't even remember this game, but people say it's bad, so I will take their word for it. And of the clips I've seen, it is bad. It looks like shit. And notable mentions, Wheelman, Tony Hawk Ride, which is weird because Tony Hawk games are usually pretty good, and Sonic and the Black Knight. I actually liked this as a kid, but hindsight's 2020. It's not that great. Amazing music, though. All the Sonic games have amazing music. 2010, we got the greatest movie of all time, Megamind, and the greatest song of all time, Baby. The best and my favorite game of all time, Fallout New Vegas. I'm sounding like a broken record already. Comedy, characters, story, gameplay, mechanics. It's amazing. The fact that you can explore all this different stuff. And it really upgraded the leveling system from Fallout 3, the game before it. Which, I didn't even put that in here. I'm just not realizing. Shit, alright, well, now you know that. I also think that's a great one. But it's amazing, the DLCs. It's one of the only DLCs that I would recommend you buy all of the DLCs. And this is also where it's going to be a stretch of a few years that I consider the greatest years in gaming. The best are Halo Reach, Call of Duty Black Ops, Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect 2, Mafia 2, Pokemon Black and White, Bioshock 2, Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2, a lot of sequels. But yeah, all of them because of the similar reasons. The stories are great, the characters are great, the music is great, it all looks beautiful. And I highly recommend each and every one of them. If you've missed out on any one of these, you're missing out on life. The worst is Iron Man 2 tie-in. Same reason as all the other tie-ins. It's lazily made and it's just meant to sell a movie. Notable mention, Sonic Free Riders. Even as a kid, I was just like, that looks like shit. And yeah, it does look like shit. Again, as with all Sonic games, music is good. Alright, 2011, Bin Laden got his ass smoked. Minecraft. This is probably objectively the greatest video game ever made. It's not my personal favorite. It's not Fallout New Vegas is still that, but what can I say about Minecraft that hasn't already been said? It changed the game, literally. It changed everything about gaming. I don't think the internet would be what it is today without Minecraft. We would have missed out on so many content creators, so many just parts of our childhood. You really had to just be a kid to really get it. A lot of adults are like, making YouTube videos, and a lot of those adults turn out to be pedophiles. But being a kid when Minecraft was at its peak in popularity in those 2010s, the 2013s, you just had to be there for it, man. Notable mention is L.A. Noire, one of the most fun. L.A. Noire is one of the most revolutionary games of all time because of how it uses facial capture technology. It's unbelievable. Dark Souls, that won an award for Game of the Decade, which I can't argue with that. Dark Souls is fucking amazing. Skyrim, like I said, don't like it as much as I like Oblivion, but it's still good. Mortal Kombat, but as in Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat the Complete Edition. Same thing. I love Mortal Kombat. I love the story of it. I love the... Well, there's only really one song that Mortal Kombat is known for, but all, background stuff has looked great. And Melina is hot as fuck in this game. Dead Island. I just like it. I'm going to stop explaining myself after this. And Portal 2. Puzzle's fun. GLaDOS is back. Nolan North is in it. Everyone loves Nolan North. Moving on. The worst is Dragon Age 2. Dragon Age was pretty damn good because it was a fun little RPG where it looked pretty. You just need to see it to believe it. Like, Dragon Age 2 has such a visual downgrade. I don't know how the fuck they did it. Like, what's the name of the fucking, like, the little goons, the villains you fight? It's such a fucking downgrade. You just gotta check it out. Notable mentions is Duke Nukem Forever. Duke, I love you, but this game is just way too fucking much. And Call of Juarez the Cartel. 2012 is where the MCU came to a culmination. Barack Obama was reelected, and we lost Andy Griffith himself. Moving on. Black Ops 2, my favorite Call of Duty. Again, love the story, love the characters, love the gameplay. I think this is my favorite Call of Duty Zombies. I hear that they're doing either a remaster or a direct sequel as the next Call of Duty, which last couple of Call of Duties have been unimpressive to say the least, so I'm excited. I hope it's a remaster. I'll buy that for $1. Notable mentions: Spec Ops: The Line. Going back to Nolan North, story's great, gameplay's great, blah 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 blah. You gotta fucking play it. It's PTSD simulator, literally. Far Cry 3 has one of the most iconic villains of all time, and on top of the music and the gameplay and the whatever blah 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 blah, Voss he steals the show. Telltale's The Walking Dead is one of the most emotional. It's very emotional. It makes me feel feelings even all these years later. More than a decade. Shit, dude. It has been 12 fucking years since this game came out. Damn. Assassin's Creed 3. Connor, he's not my favorite assassin from the Assassin's Creed games, but he's definitely not my least favorite. And then, like I said, with all of these other games, the gameplay is great. Dishonored is one of those games where, like, yeah, gameplay, music, blah, 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 but the aesthetic is what really gets to me. Just how it looks, how it feels. Highly recommend. The Worst of Silent Hill Downpour. This is it. This is what killed Silent Hill. This fucking ruined Silent Hill. It looks like shit, sounds like shit, not scary. We have not gotten a Silent Hill game since this. Oh, we did get something in 2023. I don't even know what the fuck that was. It was more like a... Shit, what was it? Like a visual novel or something? No, not even that. Some sort of interactive experience, I think. I can't even remember. I think it failed anyways. There was a lot of hope when PT came out, but Hideo Kojima was fired from Konami soon after, so we never got Silent Hills, starring Norman Reedus and directed by Guillermo del Toro. Notable mentions is this horror game called Amy, not fun, and Halo 4, not fun. 2013, we got Grand Theft Auto 5. God motherfucking damn. I was a part of the hype when this game came out. My mom loves me, which that sucks because she wouldn't allow me to play Grand Theft Auto 5, which I agree with her. I shouldn't have been allowed to play Grand Theft Auto 5. Kids shouldn't be allowed to play this game, but it certainly added to the mystique of it. They're like, oh, your parents don't want you to play this game. That just makes you want to play it all the more. And see that gun Trevor's holding in his hands? That gun is not in the fucking game. But whatever. Yeah, story's great. Gameplay's great. I am currently replaying this game right now, more than 10 years later. It's like it's gotta be like my 30th playthrough or some shit like that. The game just never gets old. Notable mentions: Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Yeah, it's famous for the memes, but it's great besides that. The Last of Us, one of the greatest stories ever told in gaming. Assassin's Creed 4, my favorite Assassin's Creed of all time. Grand Theft Auto 5 is just better. Payday 2, a lot of fun with friends. Deadpool, so fucking funny. Again, back to Nolan North, he's great. And The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, which you've probably never even heard of. But if you have heard of it, you know that the game is shit. I agree that the game is shit, but it's very, very fun shit. Worst is Devil May Cry. Earlier when I talked about games being edgy, this is the culmination of that. This is where it gets the edgiest. Like, they gave the characters a shitload of redesigns. They give Virgil a fucking fedora. Like, they had to have known what they were doing. He's a white guy with a fedora who carries around a katana. They had to fucking know what they were doing. And for some reason, giving an American guy a British patch is just a sign of, ooh, this guy is cool. I don't know what that's about. Notable mentions is Call of Duty Ghosts. I loved it, but really looking back, I have to admit, it is not that good. And Ride to Hell Retribution. You probably only know this game because of the clothed sex scenes in it. That's probably all you know it for. Besides that, it's just not good. 2014, we lost a legend, Robin Williams, and we gained a legendary film, Interstellar. But moving on, Watch Dogs. Oh my god! A lot of people think this game is not good, and I think those people are fucking stupid. Because this game is up there in my top 10 video games of all time. Aiden Pierce is in my top 10 characters of all time. It is great. It's not like funny, which I know I said is a huge thing for me. It's got some humor. It's just not super funny, but it's amazing. They did kind of advertise, like, one of the advertisements was, "You've been to Los Santos, now go to Chicago." Looks like they tried to, like, compete with Grand Theft Auto 5, which came out a year before it. Looks like that they were just doomed to fail with that. Notable mentions, Dark Souls 2 expands on and improves on every problem I have with Dark Souls 1. Dying Light, one of my favorite zombies games. Five Nights at Freddy's, which is the most iconic horror game of all time. It's not even close. It is the new... It did kind of ruin the horror genre, but that's in retrospect. In the moment, it's fucking great. Alien Isolation, also, it's another great fucking survival horror game. And PT, what was supposed to be the precursor to Silent Hills. Oh man, it sucks what happened with that. The worst is Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric. Sonic Boom sucks, and they made his fucking arms blue. They made his arms blue. How dare they? That was a little Chris Chan joke. He freaked the fuck out that they made Sonic's arm blue rather than the tan that they have always been. I never even fucking noticed that until I watched the Chris Chan documentary. And they were like, Chris Chan maced a GameStop employee who tried to stop him from freaking the fuck out over a Sonic Boom poster. Which, like, watch that documentary. It's fucking crazy. Notable mentions is Destiny. I don't give a shit how much you like it. I fucking hate it. And Drive Club. It's a shitty driving game. 2015. We were supposed to get Back to the Future this year. Boy, were they off. Batman Arkham Knight. God motherfucking damn. Kevin Conroy is my favorite Batman. Yours might be Michael Keaton. It might be Christian Bale. It might be Adam West. Mine's Michael Keaton. And if you think that doesn't count, I think you should go fuck yourself. Wait, what am I saying? Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy is the Batman. He is who I think of when I think of Batman. Was I saying Michael Keaton? If I was, I'm a retard. But still, you should go fuck yourself if you don't think Kevin Conroy is the best Batman of all time. Because like I said, he was just who you think of. Him and Mark Hamill as the Joker. They are just whose voices I hear when I read comic books, Batman comic books. It's impossible to separate. So his performance is great, but the gameplay itself is also amazing. The story is great. I love how it takes place in just one night, which is really kind of fucking weird if you think about it hard. But moving on. The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, great game, but Batman Arkham Knight just beat it out. Bloodborne, probably my least favorite Soulsborne game, but considering the fact that I still think it's great is awesome. And Undertale. It's kind of got a cringy fan base, but the game itself is so good. Oh, man. The worst is Halo 5. I hate what they did to Master Chief. They made him look like a pussy. You only play as him in like 1 or 2 missions. I don't give a fuck about this new guy you gotta play as. Notable mentions, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I hate British people. And Life is Strange. I hate liberals. 2016. Donald Trump's elected. We lose Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. Oh, no. Muhammad Ali, David Bowie, Prince, and Gene Wilder, all in the same year. That's fucking detrimental. Best is Titanfall 2. Story's great. Multiplayer's great. Oh my god, you gotta play it. I want a sequel so fucking bad, but the company is too busy jerking each other off with Apex Legends. Notable mentions is Uncharted 4, Thieves End. I love all the Uncharted games, and this is probably my second favorite. But a lot of people's is Uncharted 2, which I can't believe I didn't put in. Jesus Christ, I'm such an idiot. Dark Souls 3 and Doom, the 2016 Doom, which really brought back Doom. The worst is Watch Dogs 2. It's not even bad. It's not even super bad. It is, by all counts, okay. But the reason I say it's the worst is because it's such a fucking downgrade from the original. It's unbelievable how not good it is compared to the original Watch Dogs. Notable mentions Pokemon Sun and Moon. This is when they really started to overhaul Pokemon, I think the word is, and it doesn't look as good in 3D. The story's not as good. I don't like how they don't have gyms. I don't like the new gimmick that has to come with every Pokemon game. And No Man's Sky, it's one of those games that was awful on launch and they fixed it, but it being awful on launch just kind of cemented its fate. 2017. Alright. Greatest tweet in history from Donald Trump, despite all the constant negative press. Kofefe. Fucking hilarious. And we lost Adam West, of course. The best of 2017 is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This game is beautiful. For every reason that I mentioned for a lot of these games. Story, music, art. It's beautiful in every sense of the word. It's also one of those games where you are truly free. You are free to do whatever you want. You can beat the boss, the final boss. You can beat the game within like 30 minutes of starting it. If you're good enough. Which like a lot of people aren't. I'm certainly not. Or you can just take all the time in the fucking world and let Princess Zelda almost die for countless hours. Notable mentions are Resident Evil 7. I feel like Resident Evil 6 was kind of bad. Not mega bad, but, just not as good as the ones compared to it. And I think Resident Evil 7 really brought back the franchise. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. This game doesn't get talked about a lot, but I fucking love it. It is so much fun. It's also one of those games where you're very free. And you're free, but you're also soldiers, not some knight. And Sonic Mania. This is a huge comeback for Sonic. They go back to the original old platforming of it, and they put a new spin on it. They make it look pretty. They give a semi-interesting but kind of confusing story, but it's still good. The Wars of Star Wars Battlefront 2, I already went over it. This is awful. Not even for I kind of like the story. Gameplay is not terrible, but this is the game that ruined microtransactions. The loot boxes with this game were the subject of legal, national, global controversy, saying it's akin to gambling and should be banned. Which I agree. I thankfully have never spent any cash on this game beyond the original purchase. I never bought extra credits. Never did any of that, or I can't remember doing that. I hope I didn't. Notable mentions is Call of Duty World War II. Story of this game is fucking great. The gameplay is just not. The gameplay is not great. The multiplayer kind of sucks. This is another game that suffers from loot boxes, which really drags it down. Assassin's Creed Origins. This is the most disappointing Assassin's Creed game for me because it is when it turns from what it was to what it is. And what it was is just a run around, stab them, go wherever you... But long story short, Assassin's Creed became an RPG at this point. And it is still currently an RPG, and it's not great. By all counts, it's pretty awful. 2018. We got what? If God came down from heaven and said, objectively, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the greatest video game of all time, I would not be able to argue with that. This is probably my second favorite video game. Probably. Behind Fallout New Vegas. It's unbelievable. Looks like we were waiting a really long time for the next Rockstar game because it was 2013 when GTA 5 came out, then 2018 when this game came out, And now we have until 2025 until GTA 6 came out. Rockstar doesn't make bad games. It makes bad business decisions. But the games are always great. Always. And this game it proves that. The notable mentions, there's a lot of them this year. This is one of my favorite years in gaming, actually. We got Marvel's Spider-Man, God of War 2018, which is my favorite God of War, Detroit Become Human, which has the Clancy Brown in it, Mr. Krabs, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, love how it brings all the characters back. For some reason, I really like Pokemon Let's Go. It's just a lot of fun. It's a nice little return to form, making it look pretty, but still kind of being its own thing, and a remake. Hitman 2 improves everything from the previous Hitman games, and Far Cry 5, which has probably one of my top 5 favorite villains of all time, Joseph Seed. Great story, great gameplay, a lot of fun. The worst is Fallout 76. There's another game that terrible on launch, but it apparently got fixed. I didn't stick around to see it get fixed. I was one of the poor bastards that pre-ordered this, so I deserve hate for that. Notable mentions are Battlefield 5. Do you even fucking remember this game coming out? Because I barely did. I kind of forgot I put it in this before I saw it. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This isn't even a fucking Assassin's Creed game. I hate that it's called Assassin's Creed. Because it's not. It's just a fucking historical Greek epic. And like, that's fine. But don't call it an Assassin's Creed. Make that game. Make that game, but don't call it Assassin's Creed. Because it's not Assassin's Creed. It has nothing to do with Assassin's Creed. 2019. Modern Warfare. The 2019 Modern Warfare. This game is a blessing and a curse because the game was so much fun. Great story, great multiplayer, great gameplay, great characters, all of it. But this gave us Warzone, which was very fun at first, but now is spiraled out of control. Notable mentions is Devil May Cry 5, the most memed Devil May Cry game. We've all seen Virgil in the fucking plastic lawn chair. Death Stranding, which a lot of people really don't like, but I like because I think it's pretty, and I like Hideo Kojima, and I like Norman Reedus, and I like Guillermo del Toro, I like Mads Mikkelsen. It's great. And Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which is my least played of all the Soulsborne games, but is definitely the most beautiful. The worst is Narcos Rise of the Cartels. It's a Italian game, not good, blah, 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 blah. Notable mentions, Submersed, terrible horror game, Contra Rogue Corps. I used to love Contra, but I hate that this is what they become. Alright, we're getting into 2020, the year of COVID. The best was Cyberpunk. Oh my fucking god. Now I know what you're saying. Oh, Brax, weren't you talking about, oh, you hate games that launch shittily on launch? Cyberpunk is the exception that proves the rule. This is fucking great. Fucking great. Unbelievable. Story's amazing. I love the customization. I love the multiple choices. I love the multiple endings. I love all of the characters. There's not a single character that I'm supposed to like that I hate. And I hate all of the characters that I am supposed to hate. They're all great. And the notable mentions are Doom Eternal, fucking great. Ghost of Tsushima, fucking great. Yakuza Like a Dragon, fucking great. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, fucking great. I love this year. This is a great year in gaming. But then we got things like The Avengers, which is not great. It's one of those games where, like, it's a live service game where it has huge updates as it goes along. And it is just not good. It's also co-op focused, which I don't like games where they're like, alright, co-op is like the way to play it. Last of Us Part 2 came out this year, which is probably actually the worst one. But I don't fucking know. I just don't like Avengers more. And Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for the same reason the past 2 Assassin's Creed games have been on the worst list. 2021, we lost Betty White and Norm Macdonald. We got Nobody. And we had our withdrawal from Afghanistan. Resident Evil 8 Village. Amazing. It's very scary. It has a very interesting story with a great twist at the end, and I want the vampire woman to step on me. This video game is amazing. Notable mentions are Metroid Dread, Hitman 3, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy does what Avengers failed at. I don't know how to explain it, but just take my word for it. Worse is Battlefield 2042. I've never seen a trailer get so fucking hyped before, only for the game to be a complete clusterfuck. As far as I know, this game has not been fixed, actually. It was the disaster on launch. And when I did play it a few months back, it was still super fucking buggy. And barely anyone plays it anymore. So if they do fix it, no one's going to be around to play it. Then we have Call of Duty Vanguard, which honestly I didn't even fucking play. It just sounds like a train wreck, so I put it there anyway. And Halo Infinite, which is probably the most disappointing Halo game. Because I was so excited for it. And then it released how it released. With a crappy multiplayer and a not that great of a story. 2022. We're getting close to the end. Best is Elden Ring. Oh my god. The Soulsborne games, this is the culmination of all of them. It has aspects from every single one of them. Some returning bosses. It is beautiful. It's beautiful looking. It's beautiful sounding. It's beautiful in every aspect. I love the freedom you're given in this game compared to other Soulsborne games. Because in the original Dark Souls, you had to follow a line, a straight line. You had to beat all of these bosses in order. Elden Ring, you are tossed into the world. You can skip or go to a super tough boss immediately. Or you can skip them and go to a weaker boss. Or I love the freedom you're given in this compared to other Soulsborne games. It's my favorite Soulsborne game. Notable mentions is Stray, it's a cute little cat. Sifu, I love, is an ode, or it pays respects to old kung fu movies, which I appreciate. Evil Dead the game, which not a lot of people talked about, but I liked it. And Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I may not like the Star Wars sequels, but I will always love Lego Star Wars. And the worst is Saints Row. You've probably heard the legend of the Saints Row reboot. A game so awful that it pushed its company into bankruptcy. Terrible writing, terrible gameplay, also super buggy. It looks like shit. I don't know how you look worse than a game that is more nearly 2 decades older than you. Which, how the fuck do you do that? And we are here in 2023. The best is Baldur's Gate 3, which is a surprise to no one, I'm sure. If you've even heard of Baldur's Gate, you probably fucking understand why everyone loves it. Amazing story, amazing customization, amazing characters, same shit as everything else. Which, I'm a broken fucking record saying all this. Notable mentions are Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Spider-Man 2, the sequel to Spider-Man, obviously, Marvel Spider-Man, and I don't know why, but a lot of people say the Cyberpunk DLC Phantom Liberty counts as its own game, which I don't personally agree with, but since everyone else does it, I'll do it, and I will give it its flowers and say it is amazing. It's got Idris Elba in it. Amazing. And I didn't really have a worst for 2023. Everything was pretty good. Oh, except for what is it called? Days Gone, the zombie game. That was fucking awful. Terrible. Alright, let's go my top 10 of the best. These are my top 10 of all of the games previously mentioned as the best. Number 10, Batman Arkham Knight. Number 9, Black Ops 2. Number 8, Breath of the Wild. Number 7, Assassin's Creed 2. Number 6, Resident Evil 4. Number 5, Titanfall 2. Number 4, Mass Effect. I'm realizing I forgot to put Red Dead Redemption 2 in this list, so fuck. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 2, Minecraft. And number 1, Fallout New Vegas. That's my top 10 of each of the best of the years, but like I said, I forgot to put Red Dead 2. I feel like a fucking idiot. And with that, thank you. thank you again for 100 subscribers. Thank you for all the support that you've given me. It really does truly mean the world to me. I have lived my life looking up to people on the internet, which like a lot of people think is weird, which it is. It is weird to look up to people you don't even know, to look up to people that you will never, most of them you'll probably never meet. One of my biggest inspirations as a kid was Sky Does Minecraft, and he inspired me, man. He's gone through a lot of shit these past few years, and I hope he's doing okay. Because, like I said, looking up to him, looking up to PewDiePie, back when he made gaming content, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, probably my favorite YouTuber of all time, Corey Kingston, when he's not taking a break. They've all led me to this moment. All of them, every single one, have played a part in me getting here. And I know what you're thinking. Why are you getting so emotional over 100 subscribers? I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional over 100 subscribers. It's just that it's 100 people who support me. And as I've gotten older, as I'm entering further into my being an adult, people who support you are a tough thing to come by. And the fact that there are so many who don't even know me but still support me it warms my heart. And I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Here's to 100 more. And with that being said, may God bless you, and please have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.